Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have got Fraser. I'm sure you have seen him on the big world of Instagram and TikTok as
Sensational sandwiches.
Yes.
So my videos normally start with hello scrollers and welcome to sensational sandwiches. So you may recognize that more so than you recognize me, because otherwise I'm just a pair of hands who open sandwiches.
Yeah. No, actually, your voice is quite recognizable.
It is, yeah, but I have to speak for people to understand it.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to leave a link to Fraser's page in the description, you know the deal. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you get a notification every time. Also, because we've got sensational sandwiches in the house, we have to make a sandwich.
Of course.
So what are you making for us?
So today we're gonna make, we've got ingredients over there. It's one of my favorite sandwiches that has been received very well by a lot of the internet so far. So we're gonna do some grilled chicken thighs. We're gonna have a red pesto that's gonna be made out of sun-dried tomatoes, some grilled mozzarella, rocket, and then a green pesto as well on the top.
That sounds sensational.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the name of my brand. It kinda has to be.
As always, when a guest arrives, I'm going to go behind the camera and I'm going to film and keep annoying him with my questions. Hope you enjoy the sandwich. Let's get cooking.
These are obviously chicken thighs. Chetna went out to the butcher earlier today. I was actually saying, there's like a freshness to them. You know when you go to the shops and you get some chicken thighs, you buy some chicken, it's a bit slimy. You don't really get that from butchers. The quality of the meat is much better, but it's definitely got a little whiff to it. And we're just gonna keep it simple. We're just gonna do some salt and pepper on these, and then we're gonna grill them off in some decent amount of oil, and then finish them in butter.
When you say grill, do you mean pan fry or you mean under the grill?
To be honest, my cooking lingo isn't that great, so
Okay.
I just mean
Pan cooked.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, okay. But if people are watching from Australia,
Yeah,
they can put
that's-
it on the barbecue.
They can chuck it on the barbecue. It's basically like whatever your preference of meat is. I normally do it in a pan because it holds all that juice. So if we want to make something out of the juice later or just pour it back over the chicken, then it's all good to go. Whereas in a grill, the fire gets all of that. Okay, now when it comes to seasoning your chicken, you probably don't use as much salt as you need. That might look like enough salt to a lot of you, but I'm gonna go in with at least double of that. Why? Because salt is flavor, and as soon as you learn how to season your food correctly, your food will taste better. And then we've got, this is again something that is important to know how to use. I'm not gonna use this much. Black pepper. So, salt and pepper's going on there. I am going to stick a little bit of oil.
Oh, oil in the chicken.
Yeah.
Ah.
Just to lube it up a little bit.
Yep,
you know?
correct.
We were on a high heat, we're on a medium heat now. I'm just going to give it a little lick. Because the reason we're using thighs is because they're tastier anyway. And the reason they're tastier anyway is because they have more fat on them.
Well, people who've been watching here for so long know that I actually have never used boneless, skinless chicken breasts, ever.
The reason that I've used them is because it's handy at times, and to be honest, the cross sections can be a little bit better with chicken breast, more consistent. But skin, there's so much flavor in the skin, and also like if you cook it with the skin on, you can make the skin crispy.
Yeah.
Or if you take the skin off,
Yeah.
chuck it in an air fryer, and then you've got something to
crispy
finish on the
bits.
top. Exactly. So, like I said, medium heat. I might need to turn it down. We'll have a little tester. Yeah, I'm going to give that a little turn down. And I'm laying it down flat side first because that's going to give us a more even cook. And a little move around a little bit because you don't want anything to stick. And I can already smell the salt and the pepper coming off of that. The chicken's on, but you basically don't have to worry about it. Like, it's on, you put it on a low heat, it's gonna render out the fat, and it's gonna get super tasty. And you just let it do its thing. You're gonna turn it halfway, and that's it. So, camera going back to my camera woman. Now all we need to worry about is making some pesto.
Yes.
Which we're gonna blend, or I think we should blend.
Yeah, let's just blend.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention, this sandwich is gonna take like 15 minutes. Like, if you pre-bought the pesto, it would take even less time. The longest thing that it takes to cook is the chicken, and then we grill with a little bit of mozzarella. It's probably why it's one of my favorites, to be honest, because if I'm hungry and I want something banging,
Yeah.
I'm
This is
15
it.
minutes away from a good time.
Yeah.
You know? Right, now, if you haven't made pesto before, then it's a really easy thing to put together, and you don't need to be worried about your quantities. I do a lot of what I do based on amounts. A handful of basil. Like, if this is what came in the pack, this is the amount of basil that I'm going to use, because I don't like having to separate it. I normally take these off because they're a little bit more bitter. I don't like having to cut it out. I don't like having to weigh it. If you find someone who weighs their basil, then have a polite conversation with them and tell them that there's greater things in life to worry about. So I'm gonna go whole handful of basil, and then I'm gonna eyeball this half pack of pine nuts, sorry. Yeah, I think that's about half a pack. Lemon. Ooh, little trick for getting all your juice out of a lemon. The microwave.
So,
how do I open this?
So
Oh, you have a touchscreen microwave. Get out.
how long for?
10 seconds. A little lemon getting zapped from the inside out. He has no idea what's coming. Right. It should feel a little warm. Like if you've got a kid, maybe how warm you'd want their formula to be. Sort of warm to the face, because what that's going to do is give us a load more juice. Yeah, and it softens the lemon as well. It makes it a lot easier to squeeze it. So yeah, next time you're squeezing a lemon, get that get that little sucker in a microwave. Just a half lemon.
Would you like garlic? Does the garlic go in?
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, you got some juicy looking cloves here.
Yes. I got them from the supermarket today.
Also, and this is from my own experience, and you guys might be different, but for me, if I can't taste it, there's not enough of it in there. And garlic is one of those flavors for me that I really want to be able to taste. Whenever I see a recipe that's like 2 cloves of garlic, I'm like, I'm putting 6 in, you know? So with this amount, I would normally do about 3 or 4. Because I'm cooking for and with someone else, I'm gonna cater for alternative preferences.
Oh, I love garlic.
Well, that's a good thing, but don't threaten me with a good time, because I'll put so much in here. In fairness, I learned that on my ski season. That's where I learned to cook. A lot of the guests thought that my food was a bit too over-seasoned. Obviously, everyone has their own preference, and for me, I thought that I was doing a pretty good job, but what I found worked a lot better is to just do it to a baseline. And if people want more salt, they can add it in. Cater to your market. If someone like Chetna says how much they love garlic, then, add a little bit more. Yeah. But we're going with 3 cloves. Okay, again, with the oil, be brave. Don't worry about how much, really. Oh my gosh, this is going to take a while. So I kind of like to be able to see the oil up the side if I'm making it in a mixer like this. If I was making it in a pestle and mortar, then I'd maybe want to sort of half cover the ingredients.
The ingredients, okay. Yeah, I can see it trickling.
And we've got some more basil, so...
Oh, lovely.
I would say for those of you who do like measurements, that was probably about 4 tablespoons. 5 tablespoons, which no recipe will ever tell you to put into your pesto, I'll tell you that. And then a good pinch of salt. Why? Because salt is flavor. I'm gonna add the pecorino after because I don't want it to get blitzed up. Okay. I kind of want it to add a little bit of texture. Right. So right off the bat, I'm putting more basil in this because I want a greener color, and it's also a little bit wet. Yeah. So I'm gonna take half of that basil and start with that. I'm probably going to put it all in, to be honest, but we'll start with the half. It's like getting a haircut. You can always take more off. Okay, yeah, so we've got a nice deep green here. Yeah. And you see that it's a little bit runny, not to worry.
Because there's cheese.
Because there's cheese, exactly. And like I said, you can just add more of things if you want more of those things in it. Like if you want more garlic at this point, add more garlic. If you want it to be more creamy, then add more basil. So this is our goal. Okay. So I'm going to turn that one. Yeah, that looks good as well. That one can go too. But it's really up to you and your preference. If you want your chicken a little bit quicker, then you don't need to wait for it to brown like this. Obviously make sure it's cooked though. Right, so we've got pecorino because it's Chetna's preference, and you can put whatever you want. If it's parmesan that you like, then put it in there. And I'm gonna grate probably a quarter to a third of this block because I've got a relatively wet pesto and I also like the flavour of the cheese. Yeah. Your hand is doing the Lord's work there, getting cheese all over it. You see how it's thickened up already? Yeah. And the heat from the sandwich, because this is obviously a cooked sandwich, is gonna sort of melt the cheese down a little bit as well. It's not gonna be like melted cheese. Yeah, yeah. Let's not get too excited. But yeah, it kind of like will amalgamate into one. What was a green liquid before? Yeah, that now looks like pesto. Delish. That's our platform to work with. Look at our lovely golden chicken. And we're not gonna get crispy chicken, but all we want is this kind of like caramelized, because this is going to be yum.
Okay.
We're going to take this chicken out and accidentally line it up really nicely on a chopping board. We're here at Chetna Studios, we're about keeping flavour from the food in our food. So what we're going to do is we're going to dip our bread, submerge our bread in this lovely
chicken fat.
So I'm literally just going to go in like that.
Oh my God.
And go in like that. And then we're going to whack it onto a low heat. Yeah, so what I find is if it's a high heat, without having a chance to get into the bread, the oil's already cooking it.
Oh,
whereas when you get onto a low heat, the bread soaks and then it... And little bonus as well, if you stick another pan, all this does is when the bread cooks, it's going to change shape. And if you have a weight on top of it, it's going to keep a flat surface, which will give us a nice little grill on the bottom. Well, just look at the state of that. And then bonus for this side as well. When you have a pan over the top, bread is obviously, there's a lot of moisture in bread, and when you keep something like this over the top, steam can generate in the space and it can actually make the bread quite soggy. That happened off camera. So I took this weight off, and at that point the bread was already flattened enough that it was an even grill. And we're just going to do the other side to kind of get as much of that moisture out there as possible, because if you've seen my sandwiches, then you know the bread needs to be flat. Yeah, it needs to be flat and it needs to be thick so it can hold what's going in it, because there's a lot of food that's going to go in there. First, I'm going to slice up this chicken because I always feel like it sits better in the sandwich if we slice it up. I normally do them sort of all of them together, but you can see that there's sort of varying sizes. I'm just going to cut the chicken like this.
Oh, nice.
As you can see, we've got some very lovely juicy meat in there with that flavour all in the top. So let's do these. And then I think, Chetna, you and I should have a little nibble.
Oh no, you go for it. I'm not a taster halfway. Good.
There's just nothing really that beats simple
food flavors. And we still have this
red sun-dried pesto that I made before coming.
Yes, so that is the sun-dried tomato pesto. It is from a jar, but you can make it at home. This is something that, you know, has been made fresh and it smells incredible. Here is some rocket leaves with a little teaspoon of red wine vinegar just to get it nice and sticky for the sandwich.
Exactly.
Here is some mozzarella and here is our toast. So we've got everything ready. Okay, so you have changed the mozzarella.
Yeah, so I actually prefer the dry mozzarella. I just don't use it very often because the shop nearest to me doesn't have it. And to be honest, if it's convenient, then I'll do it. And if it isn't convenient, I'm less likely to do it.
So they can use either? Absolutely.
I just think this is going to grill a little better because there's not as much moisture in it.
Okay.
And we kind of want to get that nice grill on this good chicken.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is cut it this sort of thickness.
Okay.
And it's up to you how much you use, but if you've seen my sandwiches before, then you probably wouldn't be surprised to know that I'm going to use the entire block. To be honest, every time I make food, I make as much food as I have, and then because I'm going to eat it, like I'm going to eat it tomorrow, I'm going to eat it on Wednesday, someone else in my house will eat it. I'd rather do that than put a half open packet of Rocket in the fridge and then bin it in 2 days time because it's not sort of edible anymore. So here's our mozzarella, relatively evenly cut. Now we're going to start stacking, guys.
Okay.
Right, look at that.
Ooh.
And then we're going to go with some chicken.
Oh my God, that's 5 chicken thighs in there.
Okay, and then the mozzarella, we're going to stack like this. And now we want to broil. Magically, we're on a tray and about to go into the broiler.
That's going to be tight. We need it tight, right?
Yeah, you kind of...
Nice tight, but that's good tight.
Yeah, that is good tight. So yeah, I think maybe 5 minutes max.
Yeah. Ooh.
Right, wrap her up. Okay, you come here. Everyone always asks me how I wrap my sandwiches. And I'm not going to tell you either.
Wow. It's like a piece of art.
I get that comment a lot, and that, you know, it's nice to hear, to be honest.
Like, I don't want to eat it. It'll spoil the...
No, that's what it's for. I made it
know,
for this.
know. Oh, guys, that looks and smells.
The smell,
basil.
yeah.
Oh, dear God.
If you're on Weight Watchers, you're probably not going to want to eat this, but neither of us are. The two pestos.
Complement each other so well.
It's one of those sandwiches that makes your face oily, your hands oily, and as soon as it hits your tongue,
But I can say, I would easily, I don't know about you, but if a person my size and my
Put half
appetite,
in there.
yeah.
Oh, 100%.
So I think 4 people can eat from this one sandwich.
Absolutely, yeah, because I'm not unaware of what I do. I put huge amounts of food in my sandwiches because
Yeah.
that's where I want to
Beauty.
go with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I kind of it gives you a lot of choice when it comes to creating a cross section like that. It's crazy how much food you actually need
To get that
get
look.
that.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I started and I was putting like handfuls of rocket in there, and I'd cut it open. I'd be like, "Where's
Where
the
is the
rocket?"
rocket?
And then I started putting packs of rocket, and then I was like, "Oh my god, like
Makes
that
such a
is
big
just the amount that I
difference, yeah.
need." Full pack of mozzarella, 5,000. Absolutely. If you're going to try and make this at home, this would feed, you know,
4 people.
exactly a family of 4. Don't feel like you need to put the same amount of food in that I have.
No, I think you need so much food. I think you just don't need to eat it all. That's it. Because it just
Yeah,
is
you
like
could
that.
exactly. You can quarter
you
it
can
up.
cut it out in pieces. Whatever you do try. Like, share and comment. Let me know your thoughts. Please do check out Sensational Sandwiches if you haven't already, which I'm sure you have. And thank you so much. This was fantastic.
Yeah, I had a good time. I enjoyed myself today.
I need to sit down.
Yeah, right. I need a nap.
Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
Bye.